Hello, Saul in Lexington, Kentucky. See more better with freeprescriptionlenses.com. But call me Mo Better, because I'm of you seeing Mo Better, looking Mo Better. I'm going to show everyone else how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses when I cut your distance lenses with my house anti-glare for your silhouette model 5521. We're going to do the shape EW. This is a 19 millimeter bridge with a 140 temple length. And I'm going to try and demonstrate why I do not have these on my website yet. So this is the frame, of course, silhouette case, silhouette cleaning cloth. This is how your frame comes, also known as the chassis. There are 3 parts. There are the 2 temples and the 1 bridge. I'm going to take everything out. Go ahead and disassemble it now. And so you can get a better idea. These are the 3 parts, the 2 temples and the 1 bridge, and I will have the lens mounted into these. So this is the shape that I'll be cutting, but silhouette of this 1 series. So Saul emailed me and told me his dilemma. He wanted a really lightweight pair of glasses, and there's none better. So these are all the different shapes that this 1 chassis comes with. So we got to figure out a way. Now this frame comes with 3 different 3 different bridge widths, 17, 19, and 21. It comes with 3 different temple lengths, 140, 150, and 160. Now, by the way, every temple is measured from the center of the hinge back. So, like on the frames I'm wearing, or this Ray-Ban, the temple length starts at the middle of this screw, not for this whole entire length. Not from the front of the frame, but from the center of the screw head back. That's how all temples are measured. So it comes with all these sizes. Now it comes with, there are several chassis you can order. All of the chassis are at $2.99 that I know of for now. And let me put this back in there. Put all these back in there, and I'm going to add this one to it in just a moment. But Silhouette has all these different shapes. All of these, chassis 5227, chassis 7799, chassis 7581. If you go back far enough, you'll see me cut lenses for one of mine in a blue frame. All of them come with about that many. All right, let me get that one. That many shapes and sizes. So on my website, I need to figure out a way that you can choose what chassis number. And there are many to choose from. What chassis number? And they have changed. Now they're using 2 letters to describe the shapes. Before, like in this one, we had a 4-digit number, 6685, which, by the way, just happens to be one of the most popular shapes because it's almost the natural shape of the eye socket. So we've got to figure out a way, should my website designer be looking at this, to come up with a way to choose which chassis, which bridge width, which temple length, which shape, which size, because I'm going to complicate things even further, and you almost have to email me or call me. So this one comes in a 51 and a 49 width. That's 51 millimeters from the corner of this lens to the corner of the other lens. Now, because these are completely drill mount, I can widen these. People with really big heads, I can make these lenses larger. I can make these lenses deeper. Hang on for one. Okay, I'm back. But I can customize these even further. I can widen these. I can narrow them. If there's a shape that you've seen but it's too wide or you've tried on for other people, I can narrow the lens this way. I can deepen it this way. It's the most highly customizable lens. I should almost stick with the 2 shapes, 2 sizes that each lens comes with, and then just have you contact me if you want me to modify that. So let's go ahead and begin by tracing the shape. I'm going to program this shape into the computer. And this video is going to run a little longer than normal because it's more labor intensive. By the way, I do not charge extra for silhouettes. A lot of people do. There's our drill mount fees. My machine drills, so I don't charge extra. Now, the people you do order these from in the past, the lab charges them about $40 to drill all the holes that I don't charge for, and that's why they usually have an upcharge. Now, let's go ahead and program the shape into the computer. Secret Agent 2181. So what I'm going to do is I want to take a picture. That is a camera icon. I want to take a picture of the right lens, and I'm not using the lens itself. I'm using, now I could take a picture of a drill mount lens, but I'm going to use the pattern this time, which is on the right. We're going to choose a pattern. I'm going to hit start. It's going to tell me to the initialization process. Remove any objects from the center. By the way, in the videos, that's the platform the lens goes onto. Those are the 3 dots. So I'm taking that off. We have just the clear sheet of glass there. Okay, I've done what you've asked. Now I'm supposed to position the object to be read in the optical chamber. Place that there. I've done what you have asked. Check mark. It's going to ask me for the bridge width. It is 19 millimeters. How do I know this? $19 millimeters coming from Silhouette, and of course it'll be written on there too. So we're going to do 19, and it's going to show me the shape that it has cut. I'm sorry, the shape that it's taken a picture of. That is it. We'll move on to the next screen. It still has the pattern on there. I'm going to move that, put that back in the box, put that with the rest of them. Now I want to add a drill hole. This is the other thing why people take longer. It adds, it's a little bit more time consuming. I'm going to hit the drill. If I wanted to change the size, that is the size button, up and down, left and right. I can modify anything now in any direction. But we're going to go back. I'm going to pick the drill feature on here. This is the software that I pay for. I'm going to add the plus sign. I'm going to add a drill hole, and I'm just going to tap right there, even though that's not where it goes. I always like to start at the outside. This is going to go 6.1 millimeters above the center of the lens. That is here. We're going to go 6.1 millimeters, and so now it's above 6.1 above the horizontal meridian. I'm going to do 2.0 millimeters from the edge of the lens, because I know that's what Silhouette is. These are all 1.4 millimeter holes. We're going to do the same thing now for the second hole over here. We're going to add another dot. That one is 6.25 millimeters, 6.25, and that's 3 millimeters away from that hole, so a total of 5 millimeters. If the first one is 2 millimeters over, and this one's 3 millimeters further, it's going to be 5 millimeters from the edge. Now we have to add the third hole over here by the nasal area, which is 7.25 millimeters away from, again, the horizontal meridian. 7.25, check. 2.0 millimeters from the edge. If I needed to customize that, I could. Again, that's 1.4 millimeters. I don't have to change that. That's almost the preset, but if I ever wanted to change the size of the hole, I would. We're going to stick with 1.40, and now the fourth hole. Tap that there. That also is 7.25 millimeters, 7.25. And again, going 3 millimeters further over from that hole, from the center of that hole, it'll be a total of 5 millimeters from the edge. That's what it is asking. There's a blue line there. So we're good to go there. We're going to go back to the screen that you're used to me seeing. And then being responsible. So this is the drill coordinates for a 49 millimeter lens in the EW shape. Tonight I'm cutting the 51 millimeter. Each one is slightly different depending on the size. Excuse me, on the size. Once I'm done, it goes in the recycling bin. Be responsible. So now I have to enter the pupillary distance, just like I do for all the others. 32, so I only have to tap the minus button one time, going down from 32.5. I do want to raise the optical center height up 2 millimeters to 19. We're going to go 2 above and cut that at 19. So now I need to get the lenses prepped. So your same power in each eye, minus 75, minus 50. But we're going to, for the right eye, we're going to turn the axis wheel to 175. We're going to do that, minus 75, minus 50 at 175. Put the power drum on 0. Now put it on minus 75. I always like to make sure it's centered where it's supposed to be. Rotate the lens until the spherical component of your lens comes into view. And this is what you see in all my videos. Well, all my single vision videos. Put 3 dots on there. I always like to darken that a little bit more. So let me take the pen to darken that for you so you can follow along at home. and that is the right lens. Now I'm going to put the platform back. So when you see me lay that out on the platform, that is what I'm doing. I'm placing that there, putting that on there, and those 3 dots tells me that it's oriented in there just perfectly. These 3 black lines as they rotate is this as I rotate it. So put that on there. Now sometimes these things are in the way, so that's why it's designed to be rotated where they're not in the way of the black lines. Now let's see. Minus 75, minus 50 at 15, 0, 1, 5. Turn the axis wheel, take the lens out of the protective sleeve, rotate it until the sphere component comes into view first. Make sure everything is perfect, and it is. Uno, dos, 126. Wait, what comes after dos? Is it not 126? And this is the left lens, which is Latin for not right. Now again, if you guys missed any of that, let me recap. 3 bad jokes with every pair of glasses made. So this is a block, or as I like to call it, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to the lens. By the way, the guy who's building my websites for me does not know the reference from Jenny from the block. All I know is from the movies that my wife watches. She's a big J-Lo fan. She'll watch any J-Lo movie, any Drew Barrymore movie. Wait, there's another one out there that she just will watch all of. But anyway, in the comment section below, I think it's from a J-Lo song. She just refers to herself as Jenny from the block. Please leave a comment if you know where that line is from. So I need a double-sided adhesive stickers, of which I've got 2 here. The black side is the sticky side. The first of the 2 sticky sides. I'm going to stick that onto the first one. Do the same thing now for the second one. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. On the back is a silver button that is a magnet. It's going to do its job twice. The first time it's going to attach itself to another magnet there in the arm. Get that lined up. Again, the reason why I put those 3 dots on there tells me that it's oriented and they're just perfectly based on your astigmatism. If you had... it was completely spherical, I wouldn't have to have those other 2 dots. I literally could rotate the lens in any direction before laying it out and putting the block on. But because of the astigmatism, everything's going to be lined up in there perfectly. That blue cross is the geometric center of the frame. Your eye is 2 millimeters above that and several millimeters inset. So essentially just like the crosshairs of a scope, we have everything dead center in front of your eye. I hit that button. The arm's going to come down, place the block onto the right lens. We're going to do the same thing now for the left lens. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. Line up the magnet. Different pupillary distance for the left eye, 30. So we're going to start. It has just mirrored the right side over to 32. I'm going to tap the minus button a few times till we get down to 30. I do want to do the same optical center height of 19. So I always like to make sure the lens is large enough to fit, and it is. Get everything laid out perfectly. Hit that button. The arm's going to come down and place a block onto the left lens. Now for my house anti-glare, I generally just toss these packets into recycling. When you buy the Transitions brand, Essilor, the more name brand lenses, I send these out highlighted with the powers, with what you're getting, so you know you're getting the authentic lenses. For the house anti-glare, I just toss them because nobody's ever requested that and no one's ever needed. I want to verify that you're giving me the house anti-glare and not some super expensive Crizal sapphire coating. No one has ever said that to me before. So if someone complains they're not getting the packets with the house anti-glare, I'll be sure to, I'm going to keep them out for the video, but I'll be sure to send it. So I'm going to wake up the computer, job ID number 2181. You can see the drill holes for that shape. I'm not going to polish the edges. Now this is a time that I normally would polish the edges in a drill mount frame. The edges will be seen. Of course, this one is not polished. Let me find one that is. There we go. And I'll get to that later, but we talked about it with Saul. I'm not polishing the edge of his lenses because they're not that thick. These are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high index plastic or Trivex, I would select that. Now here's a flat bevel. It's not the V-shaped bevel. It's not the groove mount bevel. It is flat all the way around the edge. Now I am going to put a safety bevel on the front convex surface of the lens since there is no frame here, just so there's no sharp edges. I'm going to put a heavier bevel on the back side. I'm going to place the right lens into the chuck, or by now I like to call it the Charles because I just don't know this machine well enough to call it chuck. hit the green start button, close this up and get this out of the way. Put that back there for now. The door closes, the clamp shuts. The lens are going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the, well, not fit into the frame, but the lens is large enough for the shape to cut out. And then it's measuring the thickness of the lens, which is a routine procedure, and then it's going to check the thickness where the drill holes go to make sure the lens is thick enough to be drilled through. So now this starts up just like every other video. The cutting wheel begins to spin. Water has begun spraying in the back of the machine. The lens will drop down onto the cutting wheel, and I'll go ahead and repeat myself like I do because I love the sound of my own voice. I also love my own company. But the polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex lenses cut wet, meaning that water sprays onto the lens for the duration of the cutting cycle. Now, water will spray onto this lens, but only for the last 20 seconds to wash away any optical debris that you may see beginning to form on the edge of the lenses. But as I said, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate, which is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They're also virtually unbreakable. These are high-impact ballistics grade lenses, the same lens material that our soldiers wear overseas in combat zones to protect their eyes from shrapnel and from flying debris. And it also has 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lens, as well as a premium scratch coating. You got my house anti-glare, and you're not compromising anything with my house anti-glare. Just like with the Crizal coatings, the machine that applies it costs well over $1 million. It takes over 24 hours to vaporize 8 different coatings onto your lens. So because of the time and the expense, they put the industry's hardest scratch coating on there to protect your time and investment. The other nice thing about all the lenses I offer, they are aspheric. Aspheric simply means not spherical. A spherical lens is round in every direction, gives you an ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance. These are flatter to give you a wider field of view and better cosmetic look. Again, it has the Triumph anti-glare. And no one has ever wanted me to prove that this is Triumph and not Crizal brand. And of course, these are the Nassau brand of lenses from Essilor. And they're made in Taiwan. Aspheric divines, water white, first quality. Yeah, you got it, you know what's up. So it's going to the flattening wheel. Make sure it's super flat. So water has begun spraying on it, which tells me it's in the last of the cutting cycle. So in just a moment, a little lever is going to come out. Cue the lever. At the end of that lever is a spinning disc. It's going to put the safety bevel on the front convex surface of the lens to make it nice and smooth going around the edge. And then it's going to do a slightly heavier one on the back concave surface of the lens. Still doing the front. I know it's hard for you to see that. Moves over, and now it's doing the back of the lens. The lens stays still, the lever moves. And actually, in between the lenses, I will show you the drill bit. So out comes a different part of the lever, and it's going to rotate a different direction for the drill bit. Now it's going to start drilling through the lens from left to right. Now this is a 1 millimeter drill. I need to make a 1.4 millimeter hole. So once it's through, it's going to wiggle around just a little bit, essentially reaming the hole, drilling through again. So this is why most optical shops charge an extra $40. Well, for one, they don't cut their own lenses. But the labs to do this, they cut about 1,000 pair a day. It's more time consuming. They can't cut as many jobs, so they charge more whenever the process is slowed down. So it's already drilled 2 holes, it's rotated the lens. We're now going to do the temporal holes, meaning not nasal, out by the temples, the sides of your face. Three are done, and now the final 4th hole. Okay, in just a moment I will open this door with my mind. Open up the chuck. Dry everything off, and now let me show you. Let me hit the big E SLR button on the top of the screen. Go to the tools bar, the drill. And just close the door when the mechanics are in motion. So that is the safety bevel from the back of your lens. Drop that into the trash. So if this were a grooved rimless with a string at the bottom, that is the blade that slices the center groove of the lens. This is the bevel wheel. This is the fine grit sandpaper. Front of the lens this size, back of the lens this side, and that is the 1.4 millimeter drill. And if you see me turn this, you can see the little drill blades rotating, and that's what's doing that. So we're going to hit the back button. Flip that over to L. Press that on there firmly. Place the magnet into the Chuck, the Charles, or tonight it'll be called the Saul. Hit the green start button. Just like before, the door closes, the clamp shuts, and then it's going to trace to make sure the lens is large enough to cut out for the left side of the frame. The opposite side of this you will see as it's going around. And then checking the thickness of the lens, and then every point tap tap where the drill holes will go. That's the first one, that's the second one. It's going to measure the thickness of the third one, and now the fourth. That's going to start cutting. I can go ahead and start working on this lens. Take the block off, pull the sticker away, dry that off. Run my thumbnail around to make sure all the optical sawdust is off the front and back of the lens. What did not get washed away. Now here's what I do differently than most, and I slow down even further. This is a reaming tool. I like to ream the holes essentially like that in an outward motion, smoothing off the back surface of that. Some people feel that if the drills are too tight, there can be a cracking motion, a splitting, if you will. Now, it's not like a car windshield that will keep going, but I just like to take any of the burrs left over from the drilling process. Almost like a safety bevel, if you will, but just for the holes. Now, Silhouette has provided me with the hard drill bits. There are soft and hard drill bits. The ones with the folding temples have the hard, the memory metal have the soft. I'm going to go ahead and empty those out onto the counter. That's going in the recycling bin. So I'm going to take 2 of them, place them in the first 2 holes, do the same thing now for the other set of holes on the lens. Grab this tool, which is like a cigar cutter, it has 2 holes in there. I'm going to stick the sleeves because I want to cut these flush down to the surface of the lens. Snip, give it a little tap. They don't always come out the back, so I grab my favorite optical tool. By the way, this is imported. Comes out of China, and I couldn't buy just one. They make you buy like 50 or 100 at a time, but it is my favorite tool. Pop that in there. We're going to do the same thing now for this side. Put pressure against the bag, making sure they're pushed forward as much as possible. Snip. Congratulations, it's a boy. Put that in there. Now my other tool for this, because this is a perfect cylinder, completely round all the way, but when I snip it, it crimps it down somewhat. So I use my thumbtack to get in there and ream out the hole so that the silhouette posts can go through. And go ahead and grab the bridge. These have barbed posts. There's little barbs all the way through there that's going to grab on the inside. I start off by pushing on there just enough to get it started. Then I use this tool, which is a crimping pliers, and I'll show you in just a moment. Actually, so this is a pivoting tool. It has the same shape, curvature as the bar, the bridge, but it pivots because of the shape of the lens. This back part is solid. So I put the pivoting bar on the front, and I use that to press down, and that will slide in. Now it says Silhouette on this side and Adidas on the other, both German companies. Adidas has some drill mount frames, and who are they made by? Surprise, surprise, Silhouette. So I just want to make sure that is crimped on tight. And normally in an ideal world, when I'm multitasking and doing other things, I cut both lenses first, but I put the temples on last. But I'm going to go ahead and put the right temple on since I've got time to do that. Again, we're going to get those two posts started in there. And I do have to be careful because I have put these on upside down, and it is rather embarrassing. I've never done it in a video, just when I was really busy. So again, that goes on the back. The pivoting part goes on the front to follow the contour of the lens shape. Hopefully you can see that as it crimps together. I can't see what I'm doing above my head. There we go. That is on there tight. Give the extra little squeeze. Now, you have anti-glare on the front and back surface of the lens. The reason why I don't polish edges, some people feel that a polished edge looks better than a non-polished edge. Polished edge versus a non-polished edge. Cosmetically, you could argue that it does look better. However, you have anti-glare on the front and back surface of the lens. When you polish that, that now becomes a glare source to let glare in from every direction. Usually it's from the top. I had a truck driver complain about orange lights coming in the red lens. For him to find out it was his radio in the truck had orange LED lights, and it was coming in through his right lens while he was driving. You pay all the money to have no glare on the front and back surface of the lens, only to let it in through the top. My mother, who lived in an old house built in the 30s to 40s in a historic part of town where I grew up in, replaced all the old original non-weather compliant windows as they got old with double paned insulated windows. But she used to leave her back door open for her dog to go out into the fenced in backyard. And I was like, she wanted her house to be more weather efficient. So you paid to have all those new windows put in every window of the house, only to leave the back door open so the cold air can come in and out, or the hot air in the summertime. Same thing, you're having anti-glare on the front and back of the lens, only to allow it in through every part of the edge. So that's why I'm not a fan of polished edges. Now, I give everyone the choice. I explained that to them. Saul said, yeah, why not? Of course, your lenses are not that thick anyway. And come to think of it, how many people stare at your profile versus looking at you in the eye? So if you had a very strong prescription, you could start to argue that yes, it would look better, but because these are so thin to begin with, no one's really going to notice that. And so if someone's trying to sneak around and look at your profile, just turn your head and look right at them. That'll make them keep moving. Just frustrate them. Do that, would you? So take this block off, dry that off, throw that in there. I told you this was going to be a longer video. The nice thing is I don't have to resize, in the sense sometimes the lenses don't fit into a metal or a plastic frame because there is no frame for them to go into. These are going to fit first time around. Take my reaming tool. Reamy, reamy, reamy. Reamy, reamy, reamy. I don't need any of y'all. I can just play with myself. Okay, listen to your words. Listen to your words. So, this is what I do when I'm in the lab late at night. And yes, this is a good way to poke yourself and draw blood. But I believe in doing a job to the best of my abilities. A lot of people would save time, not do that, and then a year or two from now, you would get very fine hairline cracks in there from stress marks when you take the frame on and off. All the pressure is applied to these drill holes at the bridge when you take your glasses on and off with one hand. I do not want the result in cracks in the left lens mainly. So that's what you do. I know it's corny and I say it a lot, but the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra at the beginning. Ooh, and the nice thing about Silhouette, well, let's get this put together first. They give you 2 extra sleeves in case you drop one on the floor or you don't cut them just right. When they're left over, I'm going to this is a contact lens case, but I'm going to throw the other 2 in here. I usually have more hard than soft because I do more memory metal. By the way, I will try and figure out a way to get Silhouettes onto the website. Until then, if there's a drill mount frame that you want, just email me or call me and we'll make it happen. I'll go over all the options with you. If you call during, whoops, don't fall in there. If you call during the daytime, I'm with a patient, I can't answer the phone. Or I'm cutting lenses, a lot of time I just don't even hear the phone ring while this is cutting. I will call you back after closing. And when I say I'm with a patient, yes, I do see patients. I manage a practice. I took over a dying practice and has turned it around. I work with a great doctor. And during the day when patients are here, I don't answer the phone. That's why I do the videos after 5 o'clock. It is 7:12 on Monday, November 18th. I stay late to show you guys what I do. This is my time where I vlog. It's not blogging, I vlog. So press that on there. Press that in there. Line up the holes and hopefully you can see this as it gets pressed in. Squeezy, squeezy, squeezy. Squeeze me. Okay, so squeezy. Now again, these 2 posts through the 1.4 millimeter hole, barbed posts, and hopefully you can see as that, I can do it where my fingers aren't in the way, get squeezed together. And then I'm going to hold it in front of me and give it where I can see it better for a final inspection. These are a little bit wide, so I'm going to bring this in as such. Oop, went too far on that one. But there is nothing lighter than a pair of Silhouettes. These are 1.5 grams. No screws to ever come loose. These are the only glasses allowed into space because they are so lightweight and no adjustments needed and 0 gravity if you bump your head floating around the capsule. So now I'm going to keep Saul's other 2. Thank you, Saul. Throw those in there, close up my contact lens case and in there. So let's go ahead and do a final inspection. I'm going to spin the axis wheel back to 175. Even though it was still on 15, I could inspect the left, but from habit I always like to start with the right. Make sure the PD's on there. I'm getting minus, I know I rubbed it off on the left. Flashlight, here we are. Minus 75, 1 tick mark away from 1 into the red. That's because the unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R, starting at 0 and going up in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75. Your vision, you actually see everything much too large. That's where there's a minus sign. You have the opposite of a magnifying lens. Your lenses minify down to the correct size. Now, once it's the correct size, you have 2 steps of astigmatism correction. An uncorrected astigmatism makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. Think of it as the fine-tune knob. You have a curve this way, minus 75, a second curve this way, minus 50. And when you add those 2 numbers together, we get minus 1 1/4, minus 1 1/4, 1 tick mark on the other side of 1. Now you're unique. You have the same power on both lenses. So let's flip this over. I've got the dots on there. Do Axis 15 for the left. Put it in, find the center of the lens, put the power on that still. And I'm putting the PD on again because I've rubbed it off with my fingers. So we're at minus 75, 1 tick mark on this side of 1. We're going to check the second power. And now we're at 1 tick mark on this side of 1, minus 1 1/4. Using today's terms, if someone borrowed 75 cents, then they borrowed another 50 cents, they would owe you $1 1/4. That's where we're at, 1 1/4 in the red. So, PDs of 32 for the right eye, 30 for the left, for a total of 62. I'm going to turn the card around, place the PD stick against my thumb on the right lens, then we hold it up to the left lens. We're getting 62 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. So this is the portion of every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that there is free shipping anywhere in the U.S. and Lexington, Kentucky is still in the U.S. But also when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That's because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. And I'm part of that 80%, and I'll show you in just a moment. But because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. So I set them on the counter and press down. There was a little bit of a wobble. Take a look at that. So I want to bring this one down to make it a little bit more uniform. When I say wobble, mine's much more extreme than that. When I take mine off and press down, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. For those of you who noticed my shirt color, blue and orange, you had to have known what color frame I was wearing. My Ray-Ban 2132 New Wayfarer, color 789, the blue-orange, for my hometown Durham Bulls baseball team. We're going to flip that over, press down. There is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly. And they do, that neither temple is askew like that. So normally I would check the tension on each hinge, but there's no screws to loosen or tighten. They are the same. These may need to be adjusted when you get these by your local doctor or yourself. You can see how they move them. So I send out a selfie request to have your picture on the website, but I also send out cleaning instructions not only for the premium microfiber cloth that I provide, but for your silhouette cleaning cloth as well as how to care for your frame, your lenses, and your case, so it too will last you for years. No other seller on the internet does that, I am told. So, if you like what you've seen, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon on the down right hand portion of below this video so you can get notifications of future videos. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram as freeprescriptionlenses.com. Twitter is freerxlenses. And you can also, if you have any questions about silhouettes that you want, there'll be a description below. And I've got to get you a link on how to order silhouettes for me, but I'll tell you now, just email me or call me at 919-491-2411. Tell me what chassis you want, what lens you want, the size and the shape, the bridge width, the temple length. And because he had tried these on at his doctor's office, but they were charging $400 just for the frame, and then several $100s for the lenses. I charge $299 for the frame. I do not charge anything for the lenses. When you buy any frame from me, the lenses are free. He went with the house anti-glare coating for $44.99 for a total of $343.99. He got these complete for $55 less than what the frame costs at his doctor's office. So anyone out there who wants silhouettes, hit me up. If you ever want to save a few $100s, I can do it. But again, just if you have any questions, you can leave a question or a comment in the comment section below. You can email me on the contact me button on the website. But again, Saul in Lexington, Kentucky, thank you so much for the purchase of the Silhouette 5521 shape EW in the 51 eye size. And now hopefully everyone else has got a chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.